Hey everyone, my name is Rachel Barr, and you're going to hear my children in the background. I'm a studying herbalist, and I work with plants to help people heal and find their health, and I make very support-specific products. Most people are looking for support for sleep or chronic pain, anxiety, or just more natural skin and body care options. And then I make some fun stuff like smudge wands, which I'm about to show you how to make your own. Essentially, a smudge is smoke medicine. So it is a traditional practice that most indigenous people all over the world have been doing since the beginning of time. It is a religious experience. It could be just to cleanse a space. It could be to cleanse a person. If you've been ill or just having some mental blocks or spiritual blocks. And it's really fun to make your own smudge wand, and it feels good to cleanse a space, even if you're not into all the woo-woo stuff. As with anything, you can make this your own. You can infuse your own intentions into it. You can burn pretty much anything organic that isn't poisonous. We'll go over what to not burn in just a minute. And I challenge you guys to do a little bit of research to see what your ancestors might have burned in their religious ceremonies. It just makes it a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more connected to you and your soul as a person to kind of look into some of those things. So here in Indiana, there are a lot of native plants. As I said, most of them are burnable and safe to burn. Evergreen trees and shrubs are great options. They also smell amazing. They have some really rich natural essential oils in them. So cedar, white pine, juniper are all really good choices. They also are a fuller plant, so you'll get a thicker bundle, and they hold their color and their aroma even as they dry. So those are really good options, especially now that we're in the winter months. Mugwort, several Artemisia varieties actually are native to Indiana. So make sure you positively identify what it is that you are harvesting or foraging when you're making anything, but smoke medicine is no different. Sweetgrass and sweet clover are both native to Indiana. So is mullein and yarrow, considered weeds by most people, but both are super beneficial to respiratory health and lung health. So those are also good options. Today, I am going to show you just a super basic one. It is the one that I call Protect. So we'll be using foraged cedar and foraged white pine. Things that you want to avoid burning are like poison ivy, poison oak, things that you wouldn't want to touch, you probably should not burn. Also, some things don't smell as good as you think that they might when you burn them. An example is mint. Most mints, with the exception, I think, of mountain mint, do not smell that good when you burn them. So stick to things that you can sustainably harvest or forage, and things that you know for a fact are safe to burn until you get more comfortable with foraging and crafting these things on your own. One last thing to not burn, and I don't even think they grow here, is a yew tree. It is an evergreen species, super toxic. Don't want to burn those. Don't make firewood from them. Don't smudge them. Anyhow, so those are what not to burn. So let's get started. Pretty much, I like to find some bundles that have a little bit, or some sprigs that have a little bit of stick at the bottom to them. And then you're just gonna gather them together like you would make like a floral bouquet. If you've ever done any sort of floral arrangement, just kind of making sure that all the stems are pointing the same direction, and making sure that the tallest part is how tall or how long you want the smudge wand to be. Most of mine are somewhere between like 6 to 8 inches from the tip where we will cut it and tie it to the top. I also like to leave quite a bit of cutesy little top stuff poking out the top just because I like the way that it looks. But you can wrap and play with the aesthetic all you want. That's kind of the fun of it. It smells so good. So anyway, we've got all of our cedar, again, gathered with all of the stems facing the same direction. And now I'm just kind of nestle in some of this white pine. All of this I foraged from a friend's house with permission, who has a ton of cedar growing around her hedges. And this white pine is actually from some fallen limbs on a hike that I went on with my kids just a couple of days ago. So you can always Google to find out positive identifications for things. If you're going to be ingesting or making things that you're putting into and on your body, be extra careful. There are also a lot of really good plant identifying apps. I like PlantNet, it's free. And you can take a picture of it and then kind of run it by what it is that you are wanting to try to use. You can see that I'm just nestling it into the front here. Again, you can put these in any way that you like. Just make sure that all of the stems are facing the same direction. You can use eucalyptus, is really fun to burn for a lot of people, especially in the wintertime. That's also supportive to lung health. Many flowers also look nice and burn really well. And as these dry, they're just going to look a little bit less aesthetically pleasing, but they will still be super therapeutic. You can burn them when they are fresh. You can burn them when they're dry. They will both smolder the same way. So you can see, again, I've just sort of made like a cute little bundle. It looks just like a little bouquet. And I've got some shears here, some pruning shears. I'm just gonna kind of trim off some of the longer pieces here so that it's easier once I start to wrap with my twine. So you are going to want to use a twine that is a natural fiber. Cotton is fine. I prefer this jute made from recycled material. You can find this at any craft store. You can order it online, but you are going to unwind a little bit of it. You always want to leave yourself a little bit of slack. And you're going to wind that twine around the edge, again, leaving a good bit of string to work with at the end in case you want to attach a tag or anything to it. You'll hold the one end in your mouth. It's the best way I've found. And pull it tight so that you've made a little knot. You'll double do it and pull again like so. All right, so you've got one end started. From here, you're just kind of finessing that string around this bundle. You can hold it upside down or right side up, but the goal here is to make it kind of tight as you're wrapping it. As the stuff starts to dry out, it will get slightly loose as some of the moisture starts to evaporate. Give yourself a little bit more slack in your string through this. So wrapping it tight now is going to be beneficial later, especially if you're not burning this right away. So I like to wrap it at sort of an angle all the way up the wand like so. And again, you can kind of move around all the leaves so that it looks how you want it to look in its finished product as you wrap your string all the way up. And I like to leave a little bit of area at the top. You can certainly go all the way up if you want to have a more compact bundle. But from here, we're just going to start wrapping back down. And as you do that, you can tuck in any leaves that are poking out of the side. I like to make little crisscrosses as I do it because I like the way that it looks. And also, it helps keep it nice and sturdy. When I get back down to the end with the loose end that I started, I wrap it around a couple times, cut, again, leaving a little bit of extra, and then you're just going to tie it to the other end that you started with. So again, you can burn these fresh, or you can wait until they dry a little bit. I just recently did a story on my Instagram page about the proper way, or the way that I tell people to burn these and cleanse their house. You can check that out if you are curious about how to use one of these, if you've never done it before. Essentially, if you have a pure intent, there's no wrong way to do it, but some people are rule followers and they like to be told how to do things. If you're type A, maybe you want to check out those stories so that you have a little bit of a guideline of how to start using these. You are able to find these products on my Linktree order form. You can access that through Facebook or through Instagram. If you want to just buy them from me and not make your own, I'm going to have these in stock all winter. You can also check out the rest of my herbal products on that same link. You can also see them on my Facebook or Instagram page as well, in the stories or in the highlights. And I am at the Indy Winter Farmers Market every single Saturday throughout the winter. That is at the Circle City Industrial Complex off Brookside Avenue. There are tons of other local artisans and local vendors of meats and produce, what's left of the produce throughout the winter. They're also there. It's super fun, super COVID safe. We're taking every precaution that we possibly can take so that we can stay open through the rest of the winter, even as the cases seem to be rising. So that being said, you need a smudge. You need to cleanse your space. We need to cleanse the world. We need to cleanse each other. And you can check out my stories on my Instagram page if you're curious about how to burn them. Thanks, guys.